Okay, so I'm back. So now we're going to say when we look at graphs to determine the largest change from one point to another, some graphs really do not tell us as much if the numbers are so close. And then when that happens, what we have to do is we have to create a table of differences between each point and then plot those differences on a number line, basically a line graph of the differences, and that will then help us determine the largest change. Now this is a good example here. If we just look here and we were told, what is the biggest difference? Just looking at those as those, we really wouldn't know. But what's going to happen is we're going to go and we'll look at the difference from exam 1 to exam 2 and exam 2 to exam 3 and so on. We're going to make a table here, and that's going to be calculating the differences between the consecutive exams. So we take the latter exam minus the first exam and then go from there. And then after that, once we get those things, we're going to create a line graph of the differences. And that should show us a lot better on which is has the biggest difference between the pairs. So we're going to go from exams. We're going to exam 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. So I'm going to say consecutive exams. So I'm going to say from exam 1 to exam 2 to exam 3, exam 3 to exam 4, exam 4 to exam 5, exam 5 to exam 6, and exam 6 to exam 7. Okay. Now the change in score, well, I'm taking the latter minus the former, and so this time it's 69 minus 70. And because I don't have any room here really to do this, I'm just going to do the math. So 69 minus 70, that gives me a negative 1. Because 70 is larger, it's negative, and 70 minus 69 is 1, but it has to be that negative. Now what about from 3 to 2? Well, 3 is 68, so 68 minus 69. So what do we get there? Well, that's again a negative 1. Okay? And again, we take the large one, which is 69 minus the smaller one, which is 68, we get 1. But the larger one was negative, so we get that negative 1. What about 4? Well, 4 is going to be 68 minus 68. Well, that's going to be a nice one. That's just 0. Okay. Now we're going from 5 to 4, so 70 minus 68. Well, that's just a normal subtraction. That's just 2. And then we have 71 minus 70. Well, that's 1. And here we have 72 minus 71. That's also 1. And so now what we're going to do, and we'll call this one A, B, C, D, E, F. That way I can label easily on here. So that's A, B, C, D, E, F. And it looks like negative 1 is the lowest and 2 is the highest. So if we set negative 1, 0, 1, 2, now we can say, what is A? Well, A said negative 1. B was negative 1. C was 0. D was 2. And E and F are both 1. And before we even draw that line in, we can see that is the largest point here. Okay? And so the change that's the biggest is on D, which is from test 4 to test 5. And here, that's the biggest change. Now, maybe you could see it, maybe not. You know, if you're specifically looking, you might say, well, it looks like the biggest change here, but sometimes, you know, you're looking here, it's hard to see that difference here. So unless you're looking at numbers specifically, if you're just looking at the graph, this one shows you the best way to find the biggest difference between consecutive exams or consecutive whatever. All right, so I'll stop there and then I'll come back for more.